This is the Finnmaster P8S. I've just had a very comprehensive tour of this one, and this is one of the cleverest 8-metre boats I think I've ever seen. I think it's about 8.4 metres to be exact, so about 27 foot, but a very adaptable, very clever boat. Brilliant all year round boat because it has the internal helm position, but it opens up very nicely. I'm going to take you on board of this and I'm going to see how much I can remember of what I've been told, because as I say, I've just been given a very, very enthusiastic tour of this one, and it is a nice machine. So we'll head on round the back first of all. It's outboard engine powered, as you can see. It's the V6 Mercuries on this one. They're 200 horsepower each, and they're giving the boat about 47 knots flat out. So it's a proper flying machine. Cruising therefore very comfortable, is going to be at about 30 knots. And range, we reckon probably around 200. Need to work it out exactly, but it's going to be somewhere around that sort of figure. But anyway, let's step on board and I'll give you the full tour. And the action starts as soon as we step on board, because we've got this ladder here. It's a 4-section telescopic ladder. It just flips over into the water, nice and easy. We've got the walkway that goes across the back here, so you can really get around the boat. This one's got the sort of the Scandinavian spec with the anchor on the back. That's not something you'd normally have in the UK, but it's because in Scandinavia they like to anchor off of the islands, put the anchor down at the back and put the bow against the rocks. So that's just the way they use the boats over there. That's why it's got that. There's a transom door here, and that just lifts and turns, and it's a nice high door, so it's nice and secure. And look at the drains that they've got down in here, scuppers for the water. And then again here, as soon as you come inside, you've got fenders where they're ready to go immediately. You've got this locker here for warps, but also your shore power goes in here, so your shore power cable can drop in there. There's thinking on this boat all the way through. There's a 3-section door, so you've got the 2 sections that slide in front of the 3rd section. The overhang here gives you a lot of shelter, but also there's a zip-in section, and this will slide out if you wanted to, which means you can enclose all the way around the back of here. And then underneath us, this one will lift up, and it's got a recess built in so that the cockpit table can drop straight in, the infill cushions can drop into there, and underneath that then is access to things like the batteries. What else can I show you? It keeps on coming, I promise you. Battery switches, immediately as soon as you open the door, they're right here along with some of the important circuit breakers. So that is able to be grabbed straight away. It has got solar panels on this one. It's also got an inverter. It's also got lithium batteries, which means that things like this, which is normally run from a generator, can be run via the inverter from the batteries. There's solar panels on here as well. I'll show you those as we go on around. And then a lot of storage for the galley in places like this. You've got the drawers over on this side, thusly, and the sink there as well. And then there's quite a decent fridge that's underneath the helm seat, like so. On this side then, I did say it keeps on coming, this table here, you can have shorter legs and have that so it'll drop down and create like a day bed there, or a bit of extra sleeping if you want it. But beyond that, this flip over section allows you to reverse this seat here. Let's take that cushion out of the way for a moment. That whole thing then just drops backwards, and you have forward facing seating at the helm. And I mentioned the ability to open this boat up. So at the moment we have got an enclosed wheelhouse, absolutely fantastic on a chilly day, great visibility, lots of windows, but you are very much inside, and there's heating in here as well. Well, you can wander around, slide that one open like so. This roof, there's a little catch here, we can pull that and that slides back. You can see there's different places for it to slot into, so you can have it open just a little bit if you want to, like that, and that's fixed. Or you can come right on back to that one and the roof is open, and then there's even a side door next to the helm, and that slides back and then clips locked like so. And suddenly we've got a very open helm position. That is absolutely fantastic, and it keeps on coming, because here we have got this section here, which means that if you lift that seat up, so you can have it in a seating position like that and drive, or you can lift it up, and with that section in, it means you can stand here, your head is clear of the roof, and you've got really good visibility. And in fact, while we're up here, I'll show you, we've got the bars on here, we've got the paddleboard then is up here as well. Solar panels are on the back. I'll show you that as we're going around the outside. Actually, that's probably going to be easier. But yeah, so that's giving you an elevated helm position, or you can sit down and you've got this helm position, or you can lift this one here, and that means that you can stand at the helm, but you are below the height of this. So with the roof closed, you can still stand and still get great visibility. It just keeps on coming and coming. At the helm itself then, this one's got a bow thruster on here. We've got the engine controls, of course. This one is a demisting system. So that is like you have in your car. You can probably hear it. And it is a heated demisting system that blows warm air at the screen. So if you're all damp on a wet day, it doesn't steam up the inside of the boat. You can see what you're doing. There is a multifunction display here. This one's got the Seakeeper ride system on, which is being displayed at the minute. There's chargers everywhere. So that's a charger there with a phone in at the moment. There's a stereo up there. You can put more equipment up here. So things like a VHF radio, if you wanted to, could go up there. But actually, there are other charging positions on this boat. So for example, and I've not seen these before, these little chaps up here are magnets. And that then charges your phone. How cool is that? Not seen that done before. And then down here, that one is that heating and air conditioning control. It's a Webasto, and that one there is the master volt control for all of the battery systems and the solar pallet and all that kind of stuff. This seat slides, it swivels. As I say, it was a comprehensive tour, and I'm sure there's things I'm forgetting, but I think I'm getting most of it. Down here then, lower deck, we can go forward, and we've got this cabin up here in the bow. Nice big hull windows in here, as you can see, but there's also an overhead hatch as well for more ventilation or light or a route out if needed. And there is, of course, then hanging locker in here. There's speakers in here as well, and these are all zoned. So there's speakers here, there's speakers in the saloon, there's speakers for the aft deck, and they can all be controlled separately. But that is a big bed in there. That is a nice space. But it's not the only space, because if you're looking behind me down here, you can see there's a little seat here, but then there's another really nice big bed that runs across here. Again, it's got the hull window, it's got the lighting in there, and then this one has this as a bit of storage at this end. So you've got the hanging rail in there, you put things in the bottom, and there's a shelf up above it. These are light switches here, of course, and in fact you can curtain this area off. You can see this curtain here will come round on this track and give a little bit of privacy there. As I say, it is a just over 8 metre boat, and you've got 2 separate sleeping areas, so to expect to get a door as well is a little optimistic, but it does give you that privacy. In here then, we've got the loo, and we've got the sink, and that one pulls out as a shower. You just lift this one here out of the way, and there's a shower drain there down in the corner. And the holding tank contents gauge is there as well. Would you believe there's even another USB charging point in here. So if you're in here for a while, your battery's not going to go flat. And I have to say as well, look at the fact that this grain follows through here. That's normally a serious big boat, luxury boat feature to see stuff like that. That's nice. These carpets are all clip-in carpets, so you can remove these, and you've got a very hard wearing surface underneath if you prefer, but these are actually very hard wearing carpets anyway, so you probably wouldn't, but you could. Fire extinguisher built in down there. Gosh, there's so much, isn't there? It goes on and on. These speakers up in this area of the boat. We've covered all of that. As I say, I'm desperately trying to make sure I don't forget anything, because there's so much to talk about. If we head on around the front then, we've got this nice deep side deck going forward, so it's nice and easy to move around. You can get around this side as well. In fact, what they've done is they've put this bit here that flips over so that you've got steps up. This is a bit narrower, it's got asymmetric decks, so the normal route is over on the starboard side. You have got access to that side if you wanted to put ropes or fenders out that way, then you could do, but this is the usual way around the boat. There is the fuel filler there, and you can see it's got a drain as well. And if we head on forward, this one's got the black rails on it, and then this is what we were talking about up on the top. That's that big sliding roof. Those are the solar panels at the back, and you've got the radar there, nav lights, and as you can see, these bars here, as demonstrated, are for a paddleboard. Of course, those batteries aren't just topped up by those solar panels. Clearly those are just for a little bit of top up. They are topped up by the shore power when you're plugged in. They're topped up by the engines when you're out and running from the engine alternators, of course. If we come on forward again, we've got this light bar on this one across the front, and then there's sunbathing right up here on the bow. That's why we couldn't see the light through that forward hatch. And then right up to the front, it's got the split rail, because as I was mentioning, in Scandinavia they do like to anchor off of islands from the back and have this up against the rocks because they're always very deep water, and that allows you to just step through onto the shore. And then finally, right at the very front, we've got that little anchor locker there. This one hasn't got any anchor handling kit on at the moment because it's got that stern anchoring system for Scandinavian waters, but that is where an anchor winch would go. That is where the chain would go. Do you know, I think we've covered it. That is a very comprehensive specification and tour of what is, you know, a relatively compact boat. I'm going to come back down this side only to prove that we can. And if I fall in, now's going to be the time. But we've got this big rail along the top here. We're doing all right. And then we can step down here back into the cockpit. Good. Good, 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 good. I think we've done it. Let's sit at the helm. Let's drop that one back down. As I say, I'm sure there must be something I've missed, but I reckon I've got the vast majority of that, and I think that's been a really, really interesting one to take a look at. Massive thanks to Ideal Boats, who gave me a hugely comprehensive tour of this one, and massive thanks as ever to you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of that one in the comments, and we'll catch you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.